Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. This is the Oneness Podcast. I am Jessica Delmar. In this episode, I want to talk about the frequency of love, which came through as adaptability. But what does that mean? And how is that connected to instinct versus intuition? And how we can ascend the ladder of the frequency of love and also descend the ladder of the frequency of love. Emotions are deeply ingrained energetic memory connected to external or internal environments. Emotions are often based upon attachments to what feels good and what feels bad. This is how the human being operates from a state of instinct. Emotions are not necessarily instinct, but they are connected, meaning instinct is primarily based upon fear or love, and essentially our emotions rise through those two pathways. Emotions evolve from instinct, and instinct is how humans are and have been able to survive. So the memories behind emotions are purely instinctual driven. Why? Because humans have a need to be integrated within the environment that they're in. Humans desire love and even desire fear in order to understand love. But this is a human design. So again, the memories behind emotions are purely instinctual driven. However, the frequency behind emotions are spiritually driven or intuitively driven. You can think of the memories behind emotions as being sort of the stored stuff based upon emotion and based upon all of the experiences of emotion. In this lifetime, in past lifetimes, in generational lifetimes, all of that energy is stored as memory in the body. It's taking up space. It's creating more density. So that's what I mean in terms of the memories behind emotions being purely instinctual driven. That is a human design. That is what the human design takes on. However, the frequency, the energy behind emotions are spiritually driven or intuitively driven. This means the energy of whatever the memory is, the frequency of whatever the memory is, which goes beyond human design and into spiritual design or more of an intuitive design. A spiritual design is more intuitive. It's not based on the emotions of human behavior. It's purely the frequency and the vibration. It is based on the fundamentals of love as an energetic frequency. So the energetic frequency of love incorporates every emotion. If you really, really want to dive into the frequency of love, it stems back to source or God. So that's what I mean in terms of the frequency of love integrating or embracing every emotion, whether it's a low vibrational emotion or a high vibrational emotion, a low frequency or high frequency. It's all embraced within this greater frequency of love. So again, our spiritual design is not based on the emotions of human behavior, but is based on the fundamentals of love as an energetic frequency. And the fundamentals of love as an energetic frequency within a human design, because we are human, is twofold, meaning the fundamentals of love as an energetic frequency within a human design is always in a state of reflection. The fundamentals of the frequency of love within a human design is meant to teach humans the most sacred gift of life, which is adaptability. Adaptability as a way of life. Keep in mind the word adaptability being the best word that we can reach for in regards to an energetic frequency that is beyond human conception. Again, this reaches into the frequency of God, of Source. But essentially, within the human design, we feel it as the frequency of love. But for the sake of understanding, love as an energetic frequency is a teacher of adaptability. It shows how fear can be intended into love and how love can be intended into fear. There is nothing that is bound to itself. Everything is free. But the knowledge of this freedom can only come from the frequency of love, which shows us adaptability within our human design. And if the frequency of love grants adaptability, then we as human beings must understand that we can expand beyond all of what we think is true. We can extend our lifespan. We can project our abilities. We can expand our abilities. We can exist everywhere and nowhere. The energetic frequency of love is adaptability, as defined as limitless, with the opportunity to evolve into all that is limitless. You cannot do that without adaptability. And so the frequency of love holds you in the space of all that is possible, and it moves through you as inspiration, as intuition, as feelings that feel good and alive, because those feelings energetically match the greater force of love frequency trying to get you to expand into all of what can be possible. Adaptability is resilient and all-knowing. What does this mean? It means that adaptability leads us into areas of the unknown through its all-knowing power. We wouldn't be able to move into areas of the unknown without the energetic push of adaptability, which is essentially the push of our inner frequency of love. And that requires resilience. As much as the frequency of love works within expansion, it also works within contraction. So the frequency of love is a frequency that works within all realms, not just the higher realms, but it also works within the darker or lower realms. Because the frequency of love is adaptability, it shows adaptability in both expansion and contraction. There is no judgment, only creativity. It offers the opportunity to adapt in either direction, as above, so below, and there the frequency of love will go. It does not judge, but allows the free will to be in any creative state one desires to be. Adaptability is also powered by grace and hope. So even in the darkest of days, the desire for change is always found in grace and hope, so that a path of positive potential can be adapted to. On the other hand, a path of negative potential can be adapted to as well, when the feelings of all hope and grace are lost. So within the frequency of love, there is a positive potential and a negative potential. This is because adaptability is like a rubber band. It must contract to also expand. That's where the resilience comes in as well. The repercussions of expansion or contraction are because of human design and what humans do with the energy of the frequency of love. This goes into creativity and manifestation and free will within the human design. And what we do with the energy of the frequency of love as it rises for us through emotion or through instinct or through intuition is what leads the creativity of our lives. But the frequency of love itself is always the ladder that provides the opportunity for growth in either direction, positive potential or negative potential. Ascending the ladder of the frequency of love, meaning moving into positive potential, is the ability to become more than where you are and lift into a reality that ignites sensations of ease and inner peace. It is essentially the ability to feel more connected internally than externally, and is a byproduct of emotional regulation or internal regulation, but can be taken a step further with spiritual intention. It evolves you out of where you no longer resonate and into a space that you have called forth through the intentions of healing, remembrance, and rebirth. It is not only a change in circumstance, but a change of willpower. The body adapts to a new sense of safety, integrity, and sacredness as you learn how to flow with a new sense of being. On the other hand, descending the ladder of the frequency of love, or moving into a negative potential, is the ability to feel more connected to the external drive than the internal one. In doing so, the body naturally begins to regulate in accordance with the external environment, instead of regulating in accordance with an internal environment. This supercharges the instinctual survival mode, and any form of adaptability comes forth through emotional reactivity. This means that we are not adapting to limitless potential, but instead we are adapting to what is already here. It calls forth the fear receptor because it's the way that the body adapts within a doing state of consciousness. And that's what came through for this episode. Essentially, this idea of adaptability being behind this frequency of love, which moves us into positive potential or negative potential, is connected to our ascension into new earth and how we choose to utilize this energy in the movement of positive potential as we expand our reality, as we expand our sense of self, as we expand our potential, as we expand into a state of being rather than a state of doing. So that frequency of love is always, always, always available to us, but we have to be very mindful and intentional in terms of how we utilize that frequency through our human design for creativity and manifestation. We are such adaptable beings, and in our adaptability is a deeper inner empowerment more than we ever thought was possible. We often look towards our external circumstances or even an external God or a source and ask for an external thing to change our circumstances or to change where we are or who we are. And what we're learning right now through this powerful force of adaptability coming through at this moment is we're learning how to be exactly who we are, shift that internal feeling, shift that internal connection to who we truly are, knowing that there's a ladder there and we can choose to go up or down the ladder. And that fully comes from within us. It does not come from anything external. And so we really have to trust ourselves on this journey. We have to trust how we're feeling. We have to trust where that feeling comes from and begin understanding where that feeling is coming from, what emotions it's coming from, where is it coming from in terms of instinct versus intuition. And it's all trying to lead you into more of a state of clarity. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening. If you'd like to receive this podcast as a written transmission, sign up for my weekly newsletter. I send all of the written transmissions through the newsletter. The link is in the description of this episode. Thank you again for being here. I'll see you in the next episode. Oneness, love, and peace be with you.